welcome to the Journal. Due to the pandemic, there have been many changes to the show, but rest assured, the show of the past is still very much the show of today.
Absolutely. Same show with more amazing content that you don't want to miss.
On today's episode, we have content ranging from dealing with frontline workers to constructing a song. Now, let's dive into the Journal.
To paint American traditional flash. Style entails kind of bold designs.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the show. I'm your host Sarah Ovesi.
And I'm Forever.
Thank you. The Journal is produced by a student in their 4th semester of the broadcasting program here at Centennial College. On today's episode, we bring stories how COVID has affected people's life. So Forever, what do you have in store for us today?
Thanks, Sarah. Besides the story about personal support worker and how local artists are making their money nowadays, we have some great pieces about mental health and meditation.
After, we also have a story by Jake Gottlieb about the impact this pandemic has on people's mental health and some ways that they are coping. After, a story by Part Bott as he shows how meditation has helped him and how it can help you too. Later in this show, we get to our featured story about the worlds of mixed martial arts and how COVID protocols have changed the aspect of the game.
Well, we all know social workers are extremely important to society, even more so during this crazy time we're all in. The first story comes from Giselle Ricketts and is about his Aunt Dorrit, a personal support worker who has handled the pandemic.
Hi, my name is Dorrit Ricketts. I work with special needs population and I've been doing this for over 30 years and I enjoy it a lot. I'm a mother of 9 children, and while I was having my 5th child, there was a person that I knew who was a hairdresser because I couldn't get outside of my home to do anything for myself. And he decided to come into my home, and he was the first person that introduced me to working with this special population, as he was a supervisor in Community Living Toronto. And at that time, it was regular for someone to say, can you come on board and we'll give you like an opportunity to work with someone. So I took that opportunity, and hence that was my first experience. I loved it and I've been in the field ever since. As I became more familiar with the work and the people, I found that such a passion in helping them, and they received me just as much as I received them. And we really worked hand in hand, and I always had the willingness to make sure that they lived their best to the fullest, their life to the full. COVID has affected my clients because I've made it very knowledgeable to them. We do watch the news. We are making sure that they're very involved with the community at large, so they know that all their events, all their activities, all their tutorials have been cut as a result of COVID. Working with special needs population and always having the outlook on my family has always been the center of my life. And so my hobbies and whatever reflects that is always coming back to home, family, and healthcare for anyone else. So it's time for lunch, okay? Come. Eating nicely, come. 3, 2, and 1. Nice listening. Okay, come. Yeah, come to the table.
As some of you may know, during the week of March 1st to March 7th, we recognized the arduous work of social workers across Canada. Thanks to the passion and commitment Dorrit and many other social workers have, thousands of people have received the help they need.
That's right. It's an industry that requires a lot of dedication and sacrifice. This topic also relates to our next story, which is about mental health social workers deal with people's mental health firsthand, and the next story we'll find out a little bit more about what life is like in the mindset of someone with mental illness and how people can rely on their pets to help cope with mental illness issues.
I think that we are searching right now for companionship, not just people or dogs or animals that will love us, but what we will be allowed to love ourselves, which is kind of the forgotten thing about dogs for me. And there is something very medicating about the ability to love, to reach out, to pour out these emotions. And when we don't have a place for those emotions, I think that exacerbates things like depression and anxiety. If you just looked at the average level of depression and anxiety, suicidal thoughts, suicides, and anything mental health related, including addiction, I think you would find that this is, as a population, our most trying time. I mean, walking the dog is, I have to say, there's a lot of days when the only thing that gets me outside is walking the dog. You know, I could, if not for the dog, sell all of my jackets because I'd have no reason to own a jacket during the winter. But yeah, Wrigley, our dog, means that I have to go outside, and I want to go outside with him.
I think my dog Molly has definitely helped during this pandemic. She has relieved my stress, and when there's nothing to do, I can always go to her, and she's happy to go for a walk and do some activity. I don't know if I would have been able to survive without her during this time.
Whether it's anxiety or depression or OCD or whatever it is, like we're used to that, but a lot of people are experiencing it for the first time and they don't know how to handle it. People like me who've dealt with mental health issues their whole life are more prepared for this. I think that having a dog is the best thing for someone who has any sort of mental illness. Like I can just tell you from my own experiences, like I've noticed that a lot of my fears, I'm not going to say they're gone, but they're way less prevalent, right? Like I don't worry about the same things I used to worry about because now I'm worrying about the dog. Everybody's bored, right? Like if it wasn't for video games and this puppy, I don't know what the hell I would have done for the last year.
I'd love to have a dog in my family. I know I'm wishing for my birthday this year.
I keep that in my mind.
Hey, well, did you know that a study conducted by mhnational.org showed that pet owners, 74% of them reported mental health improvements from pet ownership?
Interesting.
Yeah. Coming up later in the show, you don't want to miss our story about how local artists construct a song. And our feature story about mixed martial arts. And who knows, maybe even a special appearance.
Well, that's super exciting. You know, it could be anyone. But before we get there, we still have an insightful story about another strategy for mental health. Meditation is a tool used by many people to calm themselves down and stay mentally prepared to deal with stress and anxiety. You know, something we could all help with during the COVID crisis. Let's take a look.
When I used to think meditation before I took it very lightly. I didn't realize until I started doing it that it's a very powerful source, even powerful than music or whatever things that brings you peace, but that's the most powerful source of peace for me. People in 2020 just forgot how to deal with the situations. That's where I was going, but I just found the right path at the right time. That's what meditation has done for me. Last year, which was a very difficult year for all of us, and I felt really depressed because of the pandemic, because of my new lifestyle here as I just moved into Canada. So I was just trying to cope up with my, trying to cook for myself, also doing the assignments for the college, also earning at work. So these all things took a toll on me. So that's when I was really depressed, and I took up on meditation. I chant Om, which is a Sanskrit word. Sanskrit is like the oldest language in the world, like even before Latin. So Om, as far as I have learned, Om has a frequency in it. When you speak Om, you just blast out that frequency from your mouth, which just goes out in the universe, as it says. If you Google Om, it would say the same thing. So when you chant Om, and in that particular manner, it would be communicated throughout the whole universe. It would be communicated through every atoms in the air. If I would describe 2020 year in just one word, I would define 2020 as life. Life at a glance. It's like we all saw our lives in just those 365 days. We had our highs and lows. We had seen everything. I won't say about the moment I started meditation. I would say the moment I ended my first session of meditation. When I opened my eyes, I really felt like I was on the clouds with him, or whosoever it is. I personally am not a believer of God, a manly creature or something. I believe that God has no shape. It's just a supernatural power within us, within everyone else, within the air. So I just felt that I am just with that power, and that power is me.
Well, I know I'm doing getting home today. It is definitely a good time to practice for everyone to start trying.
Of course, I feel the same. Next up is this story by Justin Creighton. We all listen to music, right? But have you ever wondered how was the music made? Well, Justin dives into how to construct a song in this next segment that is coming up.
Yo, what's up? This is Jacob Made This. I'm a producer from Port Hope. I like to make beats, hopefully that artists like, and my intentions are to produce a large amount of songs so that eventually I can make enough money and I can branch off and just do this for a living. Today we're going to make a beat, and hopefully Minty and Doja Boy Tan's going to hop on it. I like to start off making the melody first. I'm just putting together a melody loop so I can finish the rest of the beat. So when the notes don't match up with the beat, you just quickly quantize it so it matches up. I gotta restart that. So that when it's all said and done, I like to throw my tag on, and send it out for placements. So after I'm done the beat, I like to get the artist on it.
Hi, so I go by Doja Boy Tan. I'm an artist from Port Hope. I make rap music and I do vocals and ad-libs on other songs.
So my stage name is Minty. I'm an artist. I'm a rapper. I do rap, alternative rap, things like that. However, the thing that kind of differentiates me and other artists is that I do everything's purely freestyled. It's all off the top of my head. So I don't really sit down and write nothing. It's just whatever I come up with in the moment. That's how I like to make my music. I feel like it's a little bit more genuine for me as a person.
Hey, yeah, the ones that always on my name. Yo, went into this shit for respect, for the family. I take that and roll around, that's with the set. You pulling up, we leave you stretched.
Was just wanting respect. Back in the day when I was just a young and they used to see me go repent. Now I'm chillin' and I'm up on a jet. Now they see me fucking up on the set. All of these bitches, they talking about me. They saying I really been swearing these necks. I don't ever understand. Tryna go beat 'em, man. Feeling like I'm fucking Peter Pan. I'm off to Neverland, yeah. You just do not understand what I'm doing. I'm swearing I'm really addicted to music. Cause me and my homies, we feel like we made it, but we ain't never really do it yet. Now we gone, we been on the set. Now they really tryna hit my phone. All these shorties, yeah, they acting like. Cause they never go and leave me alone. Now I'm really running through the city. I've been feeling like I was so busy. They was just hitting my phone. Cause they see me with the 100s and the 50s.
So once the vocals are all recorded, I like to go in and mix the vocals after. I'm Jake and made this, and this is how I make a song.
I've always wondered how people make music, and the whole process is so interesting. I'm amazed. Well, it's more artists that's coming out lately saying that music is created with freestyle, so it's interesting to see what exactly they mean when they say that.
I agree. And now it's finally time to get to our feature doc, a journeyman, a fighter's path. MMA is rapidly becoming one of the most popular sports in the world and was one of the first sports to start up again when the first hit. However, the pandemic may have been beneficial to UFC, according to an article by sportsmedia.com. It states that UFC now nets higher in ESPN in viewership since COVID.
That's true, and that's not the only thing. You know, to make it to the highest level of MMA, you need years of training, plus a drive to be the best and take out the best. A lot of people also say you need to be a bit crazy to start it, so lots of us can relate for sure, since we've all been driven crazy since this pandemic started, Tristan.
Yeah, tell me about it. Anyway, a journeyman is all about one up-and-coming amateur fighter, plus some advice from a pro fighter who competes at the highest level. Let us check it out.
So I'm here with Brennan Picard. He is an amateur fighter who fights out of Kelshammer Gym. He is from Cobourg, Ontario, and we're going to get a chance to speak with him and learn a little bit about his journey throughout this fighting game. You're out in Texas right now, correct?
Yes, Fort Worth, Texas.
Right on. So what made you want to make this leap and go out there to train?
Well, just through the martial arts community, my good buddy and coach, Nick Cambasis, he met Mark De La Rosa at Team Alpha Male, and they kind of made a connection. So with COVID shutting everything down, Mark said that he was able to get us fights in Texas. Actually, he didn't say he could get me a fight, but he said I could come down and train. So I just figured, man, gyms are closed. Haven't been able to fight for a year. I figured I should just capitalize on the opportunity in front of me with the high level training down here too. I jumped on board. I actually had one of my my biggest Muay Thai fights, like my highest level challenge that I was going to face Zachary Baldwin, who's from Belleville, Ontario. And we were going to have a big fight on our home show, and it actually got shut down because of COVID. So I wasn't able to fight that, which was unfortunate because I've been looking forward to fighting him for a while now. But yeah, it definitely put a big pause on everything.
There's not really a secret. If you train hard twice a day and you have a coach that's guiding you and you're doing the right things, that's it. So find a coach that you know is a good coach, or at least you believe is a good coach, and listen to him and just train. That's really it.
I did one fight in 2019. It was my first amateur MMA fight. and I did it in front of a crowd in New York. Yeah, in front of a nice big crowd. That was my first one. Even both of the fights down here in Arkansas, they've both been in front of crowds too.
I don't personally mind the difference. So, I mean, obviously it's quieter. It's a little bit different. You hear your corner perfectly, but you also hear your opponent's corner. It's certain times you can kind of hear a pin drop. It's odd, but I think watching it as well as a fan, watching it on TV, I think I like it more, to be honest. I mean, during some of the really big, like, super fights and stuff, it is cool to see the roar of the crowd and to see the excitement for those things. But I enjoy hearing the punches connect and the strikes land and hear the corner yelling stuff. I like that. When I'm fighting personally, like, I'm in there to do a job, and I don't think I'm affected either way by there being a crowd or by there not being a crowd. It doesn't make a difference to me, but I'm sure that is a very individual thing. I think there's guys that thrive off of a crowd, and there's probably some guys that probably prefer it without a crowd.
Right now, like, my goals were to do a couple more fights and go pro. I was hoping to go pro mid this year, but the fight game's real, there's no shortcuts that can be taken. It's a game of no lies. You step in the ring and only the truth gets told. So I definitely learned that I have to tighten up a couple of my holes. So I'm hoping right now I'm just honestly just trying to get better, just sharpen my sword so that I'm the best amateur around right now, show that I'm hungry. And that's just what I got to do right now. I got to prove to myself. I got to prove to my coaches. Like Mark De La Rosa believes me. My dad believes me. But I'm training like 4 hours a day right now, making sure that's possible. And then hopefully go pro by the end of this year, and then the rest will come.
So here's the thing. Exposure is a bullshit fucking thing. Exposure. Everybody wants exposure. Go win fights. Go in professional fights and earn your way there. Everybody's all about promoting yourself and exposure. It's not how it works. There's a public misconception where people think that you have to promote yourself and do all these stupid things. At the end of the day, I know people like to think it's entertainment, and it is entertainment. We watch it to be entertained. But at the end of the day, it's about winning fights and being good at your sport. If you're good enough, you're going to get signed eventually.
That's about wraps it up for today's episode of The Journal. Remember, there are many ways to improve mental health. And at the end of the day, guess what? Health is wealth.
Wow, no,
You know what I mean?
I didn't know that. Wow,
Did you like it or
It's
no?
crazy information. No, I love that. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And just remember some things today. If you're feeling a bit down, remember to meditate. Hang out with your pets. It can seem weird, but it can make a serious difference.
Of course.
No, thanks for joining us today, and make sure you check out some of these new episodes in the latest season of The Journal. I'm your host, signing out forever.
And I'm your host, Sarah Ovesi. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to tune in next week for a brand new episode of The Journal. Bye.